The most I've ever made in one single month was $824,000. I just think of the title, press record, talk, stop, upload, and schedule it. Usually the people that call courses a scam, it's either one of two things. If it wasn't for me buying online courses, I would not be here today, man. But in my opinion, the fastest and easiest way to make 10K per month is to take...
What's up, Bill?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming out for this podcast.
Pleasure.
Man, 2 months ago, I'm browsing on YouTube as always, and I see this one video popping out of a guy sitting in a luxurious apartment, ClickFunnels word on the wall. I'm like, I'm gonna check it out. And the video has no thumbnail, very long title. I click on it, apparently has no editing, no fancy editing, no retention tricks. And this guy is, of course, you.
Oh, dude, which one was the video?
The one where you talked about how you sold your business. And yeah, the thing is that, you broke through in this business space quite fast, I would say, which is a highly competitive market. The way you did it is completely different from all other people. And if I had to bet, I would say that in a few short years, you're going to be definitely like a household name in this whole entrepreneurship business space. But for the people that don't know you yet, what would you say your quick recap of what you've done before you had this whole business thing going on YouTube and stuff?
Well, I've really been an entrepreneur all my life. So when I was younger, to give you an example, the first thing that I really loved as a child was skateboarding. And instead of just doing it, I took it upon myself to get a camera, get editing software, and make skateboard videos and sell them to my friends for like $3 or something like that. And then I got into graffiti. And again, instead of just doing it, I started a magazine, and I would interview writers and travel around England taking pictures. And again, I made a product, and then I got it stocked in some small kind of art stores. And that was my second miniature entrepreneurial kind of venture. Okay. The third thing I was interested in was music, and that was my first ever proper career. So I got signed to a pretty good record label at the age of about 20. And I was producing records. Because of getting signed, I got an agent and a manager, started DJing all over the world from the age of about 20 to about 26, which was amazing. And I kind of, again, instead of just playing music like my friends did, I took it upon myself to make it, to try and get signed, to try and get DJ bookings, and to make, it was really a product. I kind of productized myself. Okay. The money was not great. I was making 2, 3, 4K a month on average. So not good, not bad. Nowhere near the numbers that we do in business. And at the age of about 26, I came home from a tour, got home, turned on the television to watch TV and have dinner. And there was a trading documentary on TV. And it made trading look super easy, super glamorized, the cars, the watches, people trading from their bedroom at home, making $1,000 a day, $2,000 a day, the standard stuff that you'd expect on TV. So I opened up a brokerage account straight away, put £500 in, and I thought maybe I could trade and DJ as well. That would get my income up high enough to build a better life, a decent life, because I still live with my parents at this time at 26, okay. far from rich. And trading kind of worked out at the start. I took £500, turned it into about 7,000-8,000 over about 4 or 5 months, blew almost all of it in a day. The typical trader story. Took what I had left out, bought some education, basically a couple of courses, a couple of mentors, and was able to become profitable. And that career, if you could call it that, at the time, spawned a e-learning company pretty organically. So at the time, I was about 27, 28. I was doing a little bit of music, a little bit of trading. I had a Twitter account that I'd talk to my buddies on and share my trades and stuff. I wasn't selling any education. And one of my followers messaged me one day, this guy Wissam, and he said, "Will, is there any way you could help me? I can see you doing very well. Could you help me with my trading? And I'll pay you some money, basically." So he did that. He sent me $50 through PayPal. I remember it clear as day.
Friends and family?
Yeah. And I just, friends and family.
Okay.
And I just thought, this is awesome. People will send me money and I just help them and do what I'm doing anyway, what I love. And to cut a long story short, that was the start of an education business that I grew from there, that $50 to $16.4 million over the next 5 years. And then up pops the video for you, you know, the video, because obviously I sold that company last year in September to be exact, for multi-seven figures to a US private equity firm who own it and run it now. And that kind of brings us up to where we are today, you know. So when I sold it, I started a YouTube channel to talk about everything that I'd done and learned over that last 5-6 years. And here we are today on this podcast.
There's a lot of to unwrap, and we're gonna dive into what you said, but like for the beginners watching this right now, right? Because you came a long way, and some people are gonna look, oh no, do I need to spend 10 years into something to actually start making real money? So for the beginners watching, what you would do, like if you had the knowledge you have right now, but you don't have a capital, you don't have connections, but you have the knowledge, how would you go from 0 to that 10K per month? Because I believe this is where your life really start changing a lot.
Absolutely. Well, after all these years, I've just got it in my head what to do. I just know what to do so well now after doing it so many times. Yeah. And obviously over the last year and a half, I've slowly started coaching other people on doing what I've done, building an e-learning company, an online education company, basically monetizing a skill or a talent or some knowledge. And that's what I help people with right now. But in my opinion, the fastest and easiest way to make 10K per month is to take a skill, a talent, some high value knowledge that you have and teach it to other people through either a course or through coaching or through workshops, and just share what you know with other people for a price. And this can be done in so many ways. I mean, I'm working right now with a world famous violinist, a world famous footballer, real estate entrepreneurs, a Netflix composer, some drop shipping guys, some trading guys, some e-com guys. It's just so wide. I'm even about to work with someone to build a parental consulting company where they help, you know, mums with babies and all of that good stuff. So you'd be surprised so many things can be turned into an e-learning company. It's very broad, and it's you can really charge a lot of money to the right person for it as well.
Yeah. So I know that you built your e-learning company solely through paid ads, right?
Well, for the first 2 years, it was all organic, right? So going back to how it all started, I just traded and had a Twitter, nothing else, right? And then this guy came along and offered me some money. And for that guy, I made a Word document, very, very basic. It was like 4 pages long, 5 pages long, text, couple of images. And then when he bought that, I went to my other Twitter followers and basically asked if they wanted to buy it as well. A few of them did. And then voila, that was my first $200 or $300 or $400 right there. Organic, right?
Proof of concept kind of thing.
Proof of concept. So that helped me find product market fit completely accidentally, right? Now, those customers gave me some feedback. They were like, can we put this in there? Can we put that in there? How do I do this? On and on. And they helped me to make the product better. And then I raised the price. I went from 50 to 100, and then 100 to 200, then 200 to 300, 400, 500, and on and on. And that first year, I think it was 2018, I made about $23,000-ish, right? That first year, from about April to the end of the year, with this Word document that turned into a PDF ebook thing, right? All organic. The next year, I started a YouTube channel because I thought to myself, people are coming through, they're finding me through Twitter. Would they also find me through YouTube? And could I basically drive more traffic and sell more people, more sales, right? More volume. And that worked pretty well. So the next year, I think I did about 200K, something like that.
The second year.
The second year. And again, this was pure organic, no ads. So I was sending YouTube traffic to my Twitter, and I would convert them on Twitter through DM, through cold outreach.
Got it. So YouTube was like a top line for you?
Yeah. Yeah. So traffic from YouTube, traffic from Twitter. I'd get them to message me on Twitter, or I would message them, have a conversation, and sell them the ebook, right? And that made me about $250,000 just doing that over about a year and a half, 2 years.
What was the price for the ebook again? $50?
So by the end of that time period, it had gone from a 4 or 5 page Word document to like a 10, 15 page PDF into a lot longer ebook. And then there was a few different ebooks for a short-term strategy, for a long-term strategy, to some other stuff. So now I was selling a few different things, and people would buy one and then the other, and on and on. So a few smaller products by them.
Okay.
And then towards the end, before I joined this guy Alex Becker's mastermind and learned what paid ads were,
The legend.
the legend, I had like a bronze for like $297, gold for like $497, platinum for $997. And that is what did that roughly 200K organically in year 2.
Okay.
Then in year 3, when I found Alex and learned about YouTube ads and funnels, because I had no idea about ads. I couldn't write an ad. I couldn't run an ad.
And you had no funnel as well.
I had no funnel.
Okay.
No sales pages, no opt-in, no email list.
So your funnel pretty much was like a Twitter DMs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super, super, super simple. And that's what got me to that first kind of $250,000. And then when I learned about ads, that was an insane year. So I think 2020, we did, I think it was $1.2 million in that year.
Was that third year or
third year?
Third year.
Third year.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, that's when I kind of stopped with the Twitter, stopped with the YouTube, because then I knew how to run an ad, send it into a funnel, put people on a webinar and sell them a $1,500 product. And just the scale came from there.
Nice. So your third year, you started using paid ads, but you grew, your initial stages was like organic.
Yes.
So for the people that are complete beginners, would you say that would be the right approach as well right now, this day, going organic and then finding product market fit and then maybe going into paid ads, or should they go into paid ads right away?
In an ideal world, doing both is the best bet.
Okay.
Because really, I mean, the fastest and easiest way to begin is through paid ads, because you can validate your idea very, very quickly. So let's say you have a drop shipping program, right? You can write some ads, and you can do that. In a few days, you can have ads written and produced and running into a simple funnel, and you can look at the ads. Well, are people clicking them? Yes or no? Are people opting in and becoming a lead? Yes or no? Are people booking calls? Yes or no? If they are, it's like, right, well, this is working. People are resonating with this message. They want to come through the sales process.
Okay.
And that's like, I think we've cracked it here. And then if people are closing and buying from the calls, boom, you've got a business. And you can do that in 7 to 14 days.
Yeah, but the thing is, you mentioned calls. Do you think beginners should start with this type of funnel, call funnel, and get people on the phone and sell them through phone? Or should they start like you started with maybe smaller ticket products, validating the idea and then slowly turning that into high ticket product and program?
Yeah, well, the simplest way is add funnel sales call.
Okay.
That's the fastest and simplest way. And the reason is you can, like I just said, you can use your ads to validate, do people want it or not? And also speaking to people on the phone gives you a lot of intel on the people. Why, in their mind, why do they think they're coming to the call? What do they want to buy? Why don't they want to buy? You can ask them questions. And through that process, you can really quickly validate something, right? So even for a beginner, I would suggest going the sales call route, because you can just do things. It's just so succinct. It's just so smooth, and it just works.
Okay.
Right. Now, if you don't have a budget for paid ads, that's okay. You're going to have to go the organic route and start a Twitter, start a YouTube channel. I've got a new client in the health niche who started a Twitter 6 weeks ago. He's in his second month of coaching with me, and he's already got like 4,000 followers on Twitter and people DMing him asking if he's got anything for sale. He doesn't yet because we haven't built a deliverable yet, but it can be done really fast, man.
The stigma of online courses, because personally, like, I don't see anything wrong if you actually, like, people think that online courses immediately scam, right? Scam. But actually they could be like built up a good product. Like it is actually not easy to build a good course. Knowing how to structure it and going through the consumer's mind, how he goes through it to make sure he actually enjoys it. It's a very difficult thing to do. Of course, it's easier to build the course than to build an iPhone. But what is your opinion on like stigma of online courses being scam and stuff like that?
I just don't understand it. I mean,
Yeah.
all that I can tell people, all that I ever say is what I have done and what I believe and what's worked for me. You
Yeah.
know, for all the people that work with me, I just teach them what I've done and what works for me. Now, coming back to that question, if it wasn't for me buying online courses and hiring people to coach me and buying the masterminds, investing in the masterminds that I've been in,
Yeah.
I would not be here today, man. I wouldn't even be in Dubai, because the reason I live in Dubai was I joined this guy, Sam Ovens mastermind,
Another legend.
and another legend. And a couple of those people, just as I joined, were moving to Dubai. And I was like, oh, you're moving to Dubai. Maybe I should move to Dubai as well. And thanks to their inspiration and guidance, that's why I made the move. So even right up to being here right now, it's all thanks to the education that I've undertaken. And there's no way to go to these massive people, Sam Ovens, Alex Becker, and the likes.
Yeah.
You can't get to them. You can't speak to them and get their knowledge without buying either their course if they have one, or their coaching if they have it,
Mastermind.
or the mastermind if they have it. And I think it's just amazing that you can buy your way into their success, and because success, it's just a formula. It's just knowledge. It's just applied knowledge. The most I've ever made in one single month was $824,000.
Okay.
Right. So, logically, it's fair to say that I know how to make that amount, because I've made it and I know the infrastructure of how to make it, right? So if there's somebody watching this that has never made that, then logic would suggest I know things that you don't.
Exactly.
So if you want to know how to make almost $1 million a month, then you should probably speak to me and ask me questions and come to a mastermind, buy my program or something like that.
Yeah.
If you want to unlock that knowledge and get further. If you don't, just carry on doing what you're doing,
Exactly. Yeah.
But usually the people that call courses a scam, it's either one of two things. Either they've never bought a course and they're scared of the idea, or they've bought a bad one and they have been stung. Maybe they have been scammed. I've had people come to me that have said that I have. So, but that's like, touching a hot stove and then being scared to ever go near a cooker again. Like, just do it in the right way.
Yeah. And the problem, I think, what's happening is that people, like these course sellers, a lot of them spend 90% of the time marketing the course, and just like a lot, like 10% of the time updating it. And it's probably the same course that they built 2 years ago and it's still selling it. So, I personally update my course every week based on the feedback I'm getting. This is what I learned from you as well, like how you built your first e-learning company. You kept getting feedback. You launched MVP, right? Something really small. And keep getting feedback and keep adding those add-ons based on what people want.
Yeah, but that is how it's done. If you want to, come in, make a little bit of money, and then piss people off and disappear, you can do that, right? But you're not going to get very far. But if you really want to, you want to get to 100K a month, $250,000 a month, $500,000 a month, and stay in the game for as long as we want to stay in the game, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, then the way to do that, because no one can build a great product from day one, right? No, it's just not possible. And I say this to clients all the time. You start with an MVP, get people in, and speak to the people. Like every 2 weeks, we do a round of surveys that we send to clients, and we just say to them, how's it going?
Yeah.
What do you think of this? What do you think of that? How far along are you? Do you have any questions? Do you have any concerns? What are you stuck on, if anything? You also get that from group coaching as well. Group coaching is an amazing way to get product feedback, because when people come to you with questions, that's usually a reflection that the program's not quite there, or it's just not right in some area, or else they wouldn't have that question. And you can go and keep building the program, keep refining it, keep making it better. And then, 1, 2, 3 years in, you've got a great product.
Yeah. So would you say when would you say is the right time for somebody who's watching this to actually start building and selling the course? Can he actually be just 2 steps ahead of somebody who is going to help? So for example, if it's a fitness niche, maybe he's not the fittest and the strongest guy in the world, but he can definitely teach somebody that's below him. And through that process, he grows himself. Because what I've noticed is that when you teach somebody, when you run a course, you actually take a lot of accountability. So you are forced to improve in the area that you're teaching. So actually, it goes both ways. It's even the better way to improve yourself in that area as well, right?
yeah, it forces you to be better because you've got to be on point for the clients.
Yeah.
One thing that maybe is something to consider for people watching this, you don't have to start with a course. You could start with one-to-one coaching
Or maybe a community,
or
paid
a community.
right?
Yeah, so you could start with a free community or a $9 per month community
Yeah.
or something like that. Very low ticket. And just do maybe one group call for 2 hours every week or every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Get feedback from the people that are in there on whatever you're offering. Ask the market questions. That's going to give you very valuable feedback. Then you can use that to build a course, build a program later, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to go straight to a course, just make a V1. Don't go too heavy, just a minimum viable product.
Yeah.
Get it out there and iterate. And if you don't want to do that or you're not ready to do that, start with a community or just do group coaching, or one-to-one coaching. Work one-to-one with people and you'll learn a lot that will then help you build assets for the future.
So I think the biggest hurdle is just starting, because when you haven't built out the course yet, you have so many overwhelming issues that come. Because I have community as well, and some people will go out there, and the biggest struggle they don't know how to, like, they built an audience, but they haven't launched anything yet paid. They only had free products. They built up the email list. They just don't know how to launch. I always say to launch a small ticket community, because the biggest motivation is going to come when people going to swipe their cards and buy a product, right?
Let me break it down and keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll use my newer client, Eric, as an example. Here's what we've done and what we are going to do. So we decided to start a Twitter and basically share value on there every day for a few weeks, or as long as it takes to build
one post a day or more.
A few posts every day.
Okay.
All right. And we're about 6 weeks in now. Like I say, he's got about 4,000 or 5,000 followers, something like that. So there's the power of organic right there, to get that many followers just through actively posting. But so now he's got the audience, and here's what we're going to do with that audience. Okay. So next week, we're going to put out some tweets advertising a waiting list. So we're going to say, basically, you guys know who I am. You guys follow me on here. You know me for my health and nutrition and sleep content. I'm thinking of putting together a program, okay, and just letting 10 people in and working with them in a group setting and giving them a program. If anyone would be interested, click here to join the waiting list, right? A waiting list is a very easy, low friction way for people to make a micro commitment. You're not buying anything. You're not saying you're going to buy anything. You're just saying you're moderately interested.
Yeah.
We're going to build a waiting list and see how big we can build it across 5 to 7 days. And then with those emails, we're going to launch the first version. That's how we're going to do it. Step 1, get the traffic. Step 2, do a waiting list.
Build up some sort of hype a little bit.
Build some hype, some excitement. Build this waiting list of people, and then let a few of them in for a certain price.
Yeah.
Simple
Just
as that.
straight up direct to the checkout page funnel.
Simple as that.
Really interesting thing about you is that you actually sold an info business, which I believe is actually, when we go more into YouTube stuff, I think that's also one of the biggest edge you have in the YouTube game, that you have this unique story of selling an info business, which I believed before was impossible. I was like, this guy sold an info business. What? Can I sell my info business right now? That would be crazy. And actually that gave me some hope that can actually build it in a way that is sellable. But how can somebody actually build it in a way that is sellable? That's the question.
Good question. Well, I mean, look, I learned this from my mentor, Dan Bradbury. Again, thank God that I was in his mastermind. Because if I was never in Dan's mastermind, I never even would have knew that I could sell. So not buying that mastermind would have cost me millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So if Dan, if you watch this, thank you so much. So I was sat having dinner with Dan one day, and Dan said, "When are you going to sell?" I said, "I can't sell. It's an info business. It's a course business that's named after me." And he said, "You can sell. The only variable is the buyer and the price. So you could maybe sell your business. Well, you could almost certainly sell your business right now. You might only sell it for $1,000, $10,000, $50,000, but you could sell the thing. There'll be somebody out there that would buy it. Someone that's desperate to make the numbers that you're making, and that maybe has 10K, 25K, 50K.
Yeah, but obviously that doesn't make sense to sell it for that price.
Yeah, of course. So that doesn't make sense to you, but you could still sell it, right? So that's, you're on your way there, and then you can engineer it to sell for more, right? So remove yourself, systemize operations, remove key man risk, sort your financials out, all of these key things that you've got to do. And then as you do those things, that raises the value and it raises the multiple, and it also will attract a better buyer as well. That's how it works.
Do you think the niche actually plays big part of it?
It does, yeah, because a buyer, depending on who they are, they're going to examine the niche. When they go through due diligence, they're going to examine the niche. They're going to build the data on how wide, how deep is the market, how long has this niche been active.
Yeah.
How many people are moving in and out of it? What's the average order value? Who are the competitors? What are they selling and how, and on and on. And they will build that unit case and they'll align that with their offer.
So what's your opinion on Skool community? Is it actually like a viable option for beginners as well? Start their community? Is it?
Yeah, well, communities are really, really, really valuable to the right niche. So some niches, in my opinion, shouldn't have a community, and we can talk about why in a second. Some niches absolutely should have a community, right? I'll give you two examples. I believe that fitness offers should have a community because accountability and sharing your progress and bigging other people up and helping other people progress, that just makes sense.
Create a feedback loop as well, like
yeah,
a flywheel.
Yeah, exactly. And it's necessary for your accountability and for other people's accountability. So fitness as a community makes sense in my opinion, right? Something like alcohol addiction, you wouldn't have a community. Why? Because generally people they don't want to tell people I'm an alcoholic. They don't want to share that publicly. Some high level people wouldn't not want people to know. So you could have a community and some people would join it and use it. In my opinion, most wouldn't because you don't want to advertise the fact that you've got a drug problem.
Yeah.
Right. So there's kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum. So along that spectrum, sometimes it's more relevant to have a community. Sometimes it's not relevant to have a community. Right.
Okay.
Now, not only that, is a community great for nurturing leads and adding value? Yeah, of course it is. Is it great for setting sales calls and getting market research and on and communicating with the market? Absolutely it is. Right. But it's also a headache. I was going to swear, but it's also
to maintain, to keep people retained as well.
Yeah. I mean, to have a good community, you've got to monitor the posts. You've got to make sure that it's not the blind leading the blind. All right. So if it's a beginner style community and beginners are asking questions and beginners are answering those questions when they don't really know the answer, you're creating a bit of a negative feedback loop there where people are confusing themselves and sharing wrong advice and slowing each other down. So when it comes to communities and Skool in general, I mean, I've got a lot of respect for Sam and I think he's building something really great here and I love to see it. Just be aware, do you need one or not? Don't just have one for the sake of having one because you could
just because it's a hype and popular.
That's just not smart.
What would you say obviously was the key to your success on YouTube? So one of your video got picked up, right? Obviously you wake up one day and you see real-time views just going up out of nowhere. And that happened. And then what would you say? I guess your backstory in general is what kickstarted this whole thing, right?
Yeah. The first thing that I learned about YouTube was, I'd uploaded 6 or 7 videos. They didn't do very well. They got 1, 2, 3,000 views, right? Not very much. The first successful video that I uploaded was the one I made about selling the company the day I got the wire, about 3 hours after.
That was the first one I watched. Yeah.
Yeah. And what it taught me was people would watch it and then they'd share it with a friend. So many people said to me, my friend sent me this video, or I'm in a mastermind and someone posted your video, or I'm in a Facebook group and someone posted your video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it taught me that to get a lot of traction, it's helpful to have a video that people want to share and show their friends and post in their community or put in their WhatsApp group. It was very evident that people were doing that. And I got a lot of messages. My friend just sent me a video. I didn't know that you could sell an info business. I sent it to some more people. They didn't know you could sell an info business. And I think the
pattern was broken.
Yeah, it was very evident that it wasn't the most successful video. It's had like 65,000 views, so not massive, not,
Wait, so which
know.
one has like 300K, something like that? I think the one you talk about how to reach 10K per month.
Yeah, so
Then like thousands of people copied your title on YouTube.
a lot of people copy that title.
Looks like you set up the trend there.
Yeah, well, that's got about 430,000 views now
Oh wow.
in 8 weeks. And then my other most successful video, the one how I made $16.4 million, so you can just copy me. That's got about 250,000 views,
that one as
300,000 views. So those are the 3 videos that have done by far the best so far: the 10K one, the 16 million one, and the exit one. But yeah, so the exit one taught me the power of people talking about you in a good way and sharing it.
Yeah.
And the other 2 videos taught me the power of the words that you say are the most important, because you can clickbait people into clicking the video. But if it's not a good video, they're just going to turn it off after 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 seconds. And they're not going to comment, they're not going to like, they're not going to share it, and it's not going to work. And I never plan my videos. Sometimes I have like 2 or 3 or 4 bullet points, but it's very, very rare. I just think of the title, press record, talk, stop, upload, and schedule it.
So a beginner starting a channel, how the approach should be? Should he do these type of raw videos, no editing? Of course, it depends on the backstory, I guess.
Well,
Like for someone who wants to start selling their coaching courses on YouTube, how they should approach YouTube?
yeah, what I would suggest is to make 25 or 35 videos in one style, test it, then make 25 or 35 videos in another style and test it. And just do a few batches. Do enough so that you've got a reliable sample size. Don't just do 3, do like 25 videos, 35 videos of one style. Keep it the same. Keep it congruent. Does it work or not? Do you get views? Do you get subscribers? Do you get booked calls? Do you make sales? And then do another experiment, right? So the way that my mind works is in a very scientific testing way.
Business.
Yeah. I always, there's
Feedback and stuff.
this whole module about this that I've created for my program, just about make sure that you test things properly and be patient.
Yeah.
And I think if you do that, then you're going to learn what your niche and what your audience want. Because some niches want snappy editing and all that stuff, and some don't. Some want the raw reality.
And probably yourself uploading those videos you didn't expect those to go that crazy. Sometimes the video that you expect to do well doesn't do well, and then out of nowhere, the video that you thought is not gonna work, it's just working.
That is one big thing. Usually, when I really think a video is good and I try really hard, it doesn't do well.
Yeah.
And when I just have an idea and just do it immediately so that it's real and upload it, those are the ones so far that do the best. But yeah, I never could have imagined that things would grow this big, this fast. It's just insane.
Yeah, man, you're crushing it. I guess the thing the viewers need to learn, one step at a time, right?
One step at a time, but plan 2 or 3 steps ahead.